Similar with False Promise and things like Shallow Grave. You're attacking an enemy, he gets low, he gets False Promise. He needs to be healed up in that duration. If you simply banish him for that, then he basically comes out of False Promise with what he went into it with, plus a little bit of damage on the end of that Astral Imprisonment. So OD, a very good hero here overall. Can deal, obviously, with the Terrorblade Illusions very well. And with Terrorblade in general, he cuts through him with pure damage.
10 seconds remaining.
No real high intelligence heroes as well, as they do have a strength support. They have a Beastmaster for Jesus. So the OD seems to be slated to have a great game in this one. He does have the Hand of God as well from the Chen. It's always very desirable to have some sort of save when you have an OD on your team. You know, we often used to talk about, before the changes to Repel, that OD Omni Knight matchup, or OD Omni Knight combination, I should say. So Chen does offer at least the Hand of God, although it's a pretty large cooldown. Can offer that in team fights, and a couple extra right clicks mean a lot for this hero. Buff up his ultimate quite a bit. Could mean he gets another imprisonment off, which could allow a retreat or a kill. So really like the OD pick here. The Darkseer does admittedly feel very awkward still for Infamous's side, but they got to be pretty happy with the OD. However, it does feel like, you know, through today and yesterday that RoboZ has been underperforming. You know, last game is not necessarily fair to say that, as he did have a Monkey King Kunkka matchup. He was playing the Kunkka, which is a rough one. But really didn't feel his impact there. Yesterday, he did lose a Tiny versus Dazzle matchup where he was the Dazzle. So that was a bit concerning. And now we see the Arc Warden coming out from Infamous in the final slot. And likely this will be a Tomato Arc Warden. It's going to be interesting to see how he fares on that hero. We definitely know his relationship with Arteezy and the rest of the NA boys. So I'm sure he's watched a lot of very adept Arc Warden play. We'll see if he's able to apply those principles.
10 seconds remaining.
Pugna ban comes out. It's a smart one whenever you have OD. And the Morphling ban from Jesus Amigos. Very greedy Arc Warden pick, but I really like it in the sense that Titan and Oracle are never going to be up in the front lines hitting the tower. It's really only going to be the Terrorblade, and for that reason, the Magnetic Field should be very effective in this one at keeping towers up. You don't have any hero like a Juggernaut who can kind of run into that magnetic field, hit the tower, and still feel relatively safe. Terrorblade wants to hit the tower from range. So, it really does feel like they can delay the game out here. If the Darkseer is able to have any sort of good game, which feels very tough up against the Oracle, he may just need to jungle level 1. Or perhaps team up with the Chen. It still feels awkward. Not sure exactly how they're going to make this Darkseer work, but if he's able to have any sort of good game and get, you know, some sort of team-oriented item like a mech, it feels very good for Infamous in this one. But again, it does feel like this Darkseer has a very steep hill to climb. The OD, not so much. The Arc Warden, not so much as well. Arc Warden, big Maelstrom builder, at least a Maelstrom, if not a Mjolnir. So he can deal with the Terrorblade Illusions pretty well, in addition to the Outworld Devourer. So I do like this draft from Pepita overall. And we are likely to see a... actually, we could just see a core Tiny here. Right now, Pepita, the offlaner, does pick up the Darkseer. We do see the last pick, Death Prophet. This is a very interesting solution to Arc Warden. In some sense, because Death Prophet doesn't do any of her damage through right clicks, really. And so Magnetic Field seems kind of crappy against the DP. Flux, however, does seem good, but you've got the Fortune's End behind you, so you can purge that. Still, though, it almost feels like another hero that makes Astral Imprisonment amazing in this game. You know, DP pops her ult, tries to chase, you just imprison and run away. False Promise, Death Prophet, obviously well noted, that combination. Spirit Siphon heals, False Promise doubles that, so, and you know, also gives you a hard purge on cast, so very good combination there. Very scary team fight and push from Jesus and Amigos. There is some push from Infamous' side, but they're going to be playing a little bit slower in this one. Playing with pace. Overall, this feels very even. I do really like the OD pickup for Infamous, but that in and of itself, in a vacuum, I don't know if it feels like enough against what I'm assuming is Leo style, Leo 4K, and Adriano, ADR, 4DR, whatever you'd like to call him. He's definitely a very capable player. Duster, another former Pain Gaming member that certainly is recognizable. So certainly no slouches on the Jesus e Amigos side. And I would say overall a fairly even draft. The one hero that certainly, again, not to harp too much, but certainly seems like he'll have a great matchup is this OD for the Radiant side. Moose is going to go boots first on the Tiny. So likely to make some sort of toss play here, but he is definitely going to be in the support role, especially considering Papita is the one playing the Dark Series, already skilled up the Ion Shell. Maybe just looks to jungle here early on. Smoked up ADR going to get down the Rune Ward. Gives a lot of coverage here. Rotations into the mid lane. And perhaps Papita will have to make some sort of play like that. Tomato testing out his mechanics a little bit. Oh, he actually puts down a Spark Wraith. Put down another one. The Beastmaster will cop it. Gives that little bit of a slow. Oh, a nice toss towards the tower, though, and the Fortune's End will do a little bit of purging. But now the slow from the Spark Wraith comes through. Another one beautifully coordinated by Infamous. This must have been some sort of read on their opponents. The Titan, though, he's real fast, but the toss with the Spark Wraith vision gives them first blood and moves. Boots first paying off. And they've seen 3 heroes bottom, so perhaps we see the Darkseer attempt to take this Bounty Rune top. He'll put the Ion Shell up. That does a lot of damage to a Terrorblade. He might have even considered chasing, knowing that the Oracle was bottom, but he'll secure both Bounty Runes, and that'll be 3 Bounty Runes for Infamous. Or it should have been. I guess the Beastmaster was able to secure one bottom. Oh, the Terrorblade. Sorry, excuse me. The Terrorblade actually got it off of the Darkseer, so it is a 2 for 2. Mid lane matchup this time, we will see ADR versus Robo-Z. We'll see how Robo-Z fares. He had a nice block here, it seems, early on. So that should be good for him. Duster top lane. Let's get that cool Immortal. And we do see the early meta popped here by Leo. I call this guy Tri-Block. Should I just call him Tri-Beam in honor of TN? Shinhan. But he's going to have a rough time here, bottom. A ranged carry and a Chen. Although we do see Dunha doing some little pull shenanigans here. Stomp will connect on some Radiant Creeps. Tomato unfazed will do some last hitting under the tower. We'll see how he fares here. This is always a difficult task. He'll get one. Papita, he's against an Oracle. That's going to be tough. And looks like Tomato, again, doing well with the last hitting under the tower. Oh, nice wave drag here from Papita. May actually allow him to get a good amount of experience here. Duster, though, just having his way with this Darkseer. They do have moves inbound, however. Yeah, Ion Shell not going to do much, but they'll at least drag the wave back and get some experience for this duo. Wow, look, Leo style coming deep with his Oracle. Toss towards the tower. Again, Moo's going for this play. Oracle taking a lot of damage. 3 tower shots. Moo's unable to kill him off, however. And a smart play by Leo to join up with his Oracle under tower, else he dies for sure in that scenario. Tomato gets those last hits under tower, but it is still a difficult lane. Elder Titan Beastmaster is a very beefy lane. Sparkwraith placed nice juke by Dunha, anticipating that. Perhaps he saw the cast animation. Terrorblade? Moo's going to be blocked by the creeps. He can't get in range to make a toss play. Duster, invisibility rune, going to flank. Meanwhile, bottom lane. Plus 48 damage on the ET. Flux. It's only level 1. It's pretty lackluster. Duster going to find Moose. Ping him out. Thinking about canceling the clarity, but won't do it near the tower. Moose is level 2, so he does have the combination, and near the tower likely would have spelled death for that Oracle, so a wise decision. Elder Titan going to be able to make it away. Does not have mana for a TP, though, so... Oh, he will just suicide to the tower? So no first blood spilled just yet, I guess. There's 2 deaths. Oh, yeah. Okay, we saw the early first blood with the toss play on the tower. Prior to the horn sounding. Moose throws out the avalanche on Duster. Pepita is doing all right on the Darks here. 4 and 2, but more importantly, he is level 3. So up against an Oracle, can't ask for too much more. Sparkwraith going to fly out, connect on the Beastmaster. It is level 2. And as Elder Titans tend to do, hitting that camp around stack timing. He'll actually miss this one, unfortunately. But the more you can stack it, the more plus damage you essentially get when you hit it. Pennant's going to be thrown out. But he recalls in the Tiny for a toss. Avalanche combination. Nice play from Wu. Lovely. And we do see Pepita as he picks up level 2 Ion Shell make his way towards the jungle, which is to be expected. Let's check out the mid lane. We've kind of ignored it for most of it. It's 19 and 8 to 19 and 4 for the OD and the DP. So RoboZ holding his own here. He misses a couple of CS though. Oh, he walks back for the toss play, I see. So it costs him a couple of CS, but if they get a kill out of it, they should be more than happy. Miss uphill though by RoboZ. He gets the banish off, but I don't think this will kill. Well, it is level 4. A toss back will ensure it. Nice play by Moose. He's got that big health pool being a Tiny. Oh, creep block bottom lane could mean the Beastmaster's in a little bit of trouble here. No penance available though. Again, recall coming through? No. Yeah, it does come through, but it's a bit late this time, so unable to recreate the magic of that cheeky play moments ago. But Moose has been active all over the map on his Tiny. He's 2-0-1, so involved in 3 of the 4 kills so far. See how the bounty runes went at 5 minutes. So 3 actually for the Dire side and 1 for Infamous. And that's what makes this game, despite it being 4-0, relatively even. And the CS is slightly in the favor of the Dire as well. The Terrorblade has been largely uncontested top lane. Wu and Moose around mid lane, looking like a tri-lane versus tri-lane here in the mid. And the offlaners will certainly be happy with this, as they'll find some time. But Pepita's still kind of scared. The Radiant only see the Titan at this point, so perhaps weren't aware of everyone. Dire scan going to find Pepita, not going to matter all that much. He gets the Ion Shell off. Recall coming through from the Tiny down to the bottom lane. Beastmaster in trouble, tossed up. Magnetic Field is there. And no Flux available for this Elder Titan. He'll walk around the Sparkwraith, still connect, but it'll be a little too late to mean anything of consequence. Meanwhile, top lane going in onto the Darkseer, but the Purge is there from the Oracle, and now Pepita perhaps in trouble. Well, he'll make it away with the Surge. And back down to the bottom lane, the recently killed off Beastmaster will go. Duster has a Purifying Flames. Pepita making it into the tree line, though. And Duster unable to spot him. TP out
Dire's top tower
from the
is under
Darkseer.
attack.
Bottom lane, Avalanche flies out. Toss up in the air. Titan gonna drop onto the Beastmaster. Flux is there. Will they get the Spark Wraith proc? They do. And body blocks. Gonna wait for the last hit. Oh, Wu ends up getting it with the Cardies. Nice play by Wu, trying to give the kill over to his carry, but regardless, 2 kills in the bottom lane. He actually cops some extra Wild Axes damage because of his noble attempt to give his carry the kill, but in any case. Ward is going to spot out Moose's movement here. Just hanging around. RoboZ going to find the Titan. They know the Tiny's coming through, but he'll pop up the Essence Aura and, well, I guess it's not an aura these days. Equilibrium. And Muse will find the kill again. We've been talking about how active this Tiny is. 5-0-2. 7 of the 8 kills for the Tiny. He's 4th in net worth, and he's really been abated by this Chen, who's been able to kind of TP him around the map. Looking for another kill. Won't find it just yet. Duster makes his way up towards the northeast. Moose won't find him just yet. Now around the corner, looking at the Oracle. He drops down a ward. Feels like that was probably scouted, but smoke up. ADR going to make his first rotation in. Does have the Exorcism available, level 6. Spark Wraith drop down. The Chen in trouble. Echo Stomp will connect. Spirit Siphon is there as well. But Chen's going to be just fine. Meanwhile, on the north side, Tomato's Replicate dueling it up with the Beastmaster will be taken out.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And that Tempest Double will be on cooldown going forward. Pepita level 7 now on the Darkseer. Pretty admirable comeback for this Darkseer. 3rd overall as far as experience goes in this game. And starting to creep back up the net worth totem pole. Bottle and 1,000 gold on top of the bracer for Moose on this Tiny. And he has just been the standout of the early game. Again, certainly the Chen has contributed a lot to his success. Dire side do have high ground vision here. And now, jump forward. Echo Stomp not going to connect, but the Primal War will, and they'll bring in the ADR DP as well. Silence is there for Robo, but he should just be able to imprison if need be. He's actually going to be just fine. Now they'll turn their attention towards Tomato and towards Wu's Chen, but all 5 members, it seems, 4 members at least of Infamous, minus the Darkseer, have made their way down bottom. Tomato is going to be taken out. RoboZ rejoining the fray, but the Terrorblade's nearby as well, and he's going to drop to a Purifying Flames. And a really peculiar decision from the OD to rejoin after his Tomato Arc Warden dropped is going to cost him his life. So 2 big targets in the bottom lane for the first rotation of ADR's Death Prophet with the Exorcism. Of course, OD is not a hero that when his counterpart leaves lane can punish you with structural damage, so you do tend to bring him towards the fight. But he certainly could have made it out scot-free, and they just lose a Tomato for that cooldown there and get the tier 1 top. Instead, they end up losing both their major cores and their tier 1. So a very fruitful first rotation from ADR and Leo style.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Couple of heroes nearby the Beastmaster bottom lane, but doesn't look like they'll press forward. They do have some decent vision in the air, so perhaps just like hoping for inbound TP that they could punish.
Dire's top tower.
A lot of resources spent in this bottom area by the Dire side. Sort of similar symmetrical placement by the Infamous side on the Dire jungle. Overall feels pretty even. 2K net worth lead for Infamous, 2K experience lead as well.
Radiant are scanning.
No real big item pickups yet. We've got Necro 1 up on Tomato. Force Staff will be up soon for RoboZ. Bit of a throwback build on the OD. A lot of times we'll see Yasha and Kaya. But certainly against the Primal Roar, Force Staff could be nice. Against the DP, Force Staff could be nice as well. Hawk going to be spawned up bottom lane. They're looking for the opening here and will not find it. Wu, though, may have been spotted. Oh, they actually got the Dire ward here with the sentry, so doesn't look like his ward placement was spotted, but there is a smoke. Terrorblade's illusions walking freely towards mid. And looks like we may see a big clash here. There is no Arc Warden present for this, for the Infamous side. Moose could be in trouble. Uses his combo on the wave. Reflection is there. Echo Stomp connects onto the OD. Double silence. Primal Roar is there. The OD in a lot of trouble. Hand of God, though. Force Staff up to the high ground. He is going to be recalled, however, it seems. No, he's just fine. He'll stick around. And the Glyph going to keep the tier 1 tower up for now. They've brought Tomato in. Surge forward. They do get the tower. ADR's Ghosts will bring it down, and no major response will be found. Well, blink forward. Combo. Haste Rune taken by Moose. He's bottled it up. Doesn't use it just yet. Wise and economical play there by Moose, but unable to find any kill. A big smoke up, however, from the Radiant side. Tomato will go back to doing Arc Warden things, i.e. farming. He's got a Hand of Midas soon to be completed after the first Necro book. Interesting to see him stop off for that Necro book, as they had already taken out the tier 1 top. But perhaps it lets him get the offlane tower. Moose smoked up, hasted. Blink finds the Beastmaster. The False Promise is nearby. Well, Duster's level 5, so no, it isn't. I figured 15 minutes in that there'd be a False Promise, but Duster is the lowest level in the game, the only one not to have his ultimate.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Bounty Rune going to be cleaned up by the Terrorblade Illusion. He'll get both, in fact. Nice play by him. Middle tower going down to the Radiant. And may have a couple of siege creeps for the Chen there, but he doesn't end up securing the last hit. And a roughly even game here. Papita has had a nice recovery. We talked about that mech in the draft screen being real nice, and we saw it there used mid lane. They had hit a great combination. Echo Stomp, 2-man silence, Earth Splitter through, but mech, Hand of God, Force Staff up the hill. The OD was just fine. They do end up losing their tier 1, but considering how that fight began, it could have gone a lot worse for the Radiant. Again, triple siege creep up top lane here for the Radiant, and there has to be a reaction. It'll be ADR the first, as if there was ADR the second. I mean, the ADR the first hero for the Dire side to attend top lane. Surge forward, blink. They are going to find the combo on ADR. He doesn't have a Spirit Siphon yet. It looks like he may have cast it and then stopped it somehow. But he pays. Radiant Glyph going to come out. RoboZ could be in a little bit of trouble. Wrap, Primal Roar finds him. Echo Stomp is there on the backside, and Wu just needs to tuck himself away into the trees and hide. As it looks like the sides will trade tier 2s here. And cores, mid laners, so perfect symmetrical play from either side. Death Prophet and the OD go down, the 2 tier 2s go down as well. But Tomato seemed to be farming in the meantime. He picked up his Midas, he's used it. He's got Necro, well, I thought maybe Necro 2, but he's real close to Necro 2 if he'd want it. He's looking at a Maelstrom right now, though, which for obvious reasons is very effective in this game. So it feels like overall there was a little more farm gained on the map by Infamous, and they do have a small window here of about a minute and a half where there is no meta for Leo style.
Dire are scanning.
Still not a very good Roche lineup by any stretch, so it'll likely just be a bit of farming. Top lane Moose hanging around has a double damage rune, but Terrorblade with the Sanjin Yasha, 3 Wraithbends, and Treads is a little bit too tanky for that Tiny to solo. Tiny is level 9, so does have the full levels in the combo. Four-man smoke coming out. Recall to Moose. He's going to show on wave. They could be in trouble here. Primal Roar's available. Hawk going to be spawned. Tiny makes his way back to the left. Echo Stomp not going to connect onto the Chen. Tiny blinks off to safety. Wu is just going to create some space here. But Pita comes in. Beautiful 3-man vac wall, but there's no follow-up just yet. Meanwhile, on the west side, they're comboing up ADR, who does get False Promise, but they bring down the Oracle immediately thereafter, and now they've completely scattered the Dire lineup. ADR is going to be taken out. Robo Z credited with the kill. And again, Tomato AFK on the Arc Warden, the AFK Warden, and having a blast. Terrorblade as well, not involved in that fight bottom, so he has been farming and does have an Arcane Rune. So having a little bit of fun spawning his illusions and whatnot. Can even perhaps meta here, but no Ancients nearby or anything of the sort. Echo Stomp will catch the Chen. That'll likely tip them off to the fact that he just dropped this ward down. And unfortunately for that Radiant side, the ward does not currently see the Beastmaster. A little bit of a nerf to this ward, as it no longer sees TPs into the shrine. I think it caught the edge of them prior. But it does see both, kind of both towers, so give and take from the Frog. You may have never seen Shrine TPs. I'm not entirely sure about that now that I say it. But Pita working on what seems like a Vanguard, so possibly going into the Crimson. Ooh, Tomato stepping forward mid lane. The 3 heroes. Oh, that was... Yeah, Tomato in a lot of trouble. They will pop the Exorcism for this one and go right into Roche, more than likely. ADR. Well, they're looking for the Necro units first. They'll siphon them up and let the Ghost do the work. Get that little bit of extra gold. But immediately you see Infamous make their beeline towards the Roche pit. So it's an Exorcism used for a big target, no doubt, but one that'll be back up in 30 seconds. And maybe we even see Infamous take a peek at Roche here. Although they are a very, very slow Roche lineup. But perhaps looking to fight. Kaya picked up by Robo Z. A Yule Scepter to fly out as well. It looks like it's for the ADR Death Prophet. Lane's mostly in a good position for the Dire side. Moo's going to be recalled here with his team. There is no smoke just yet. The courier will bring it out. And it's nearly a Yasha and Kaya that we talked about early on for Robo Z. But they'll feel ready to fight regardless with the full Crimson Guard from the Darkseer. Moose will find Duster. It'll be 1 kill for sure. Moose hasted. Pressing forward. Ion Shelled Up's going to get Yules by ADR. 4 staff forward, though, onto Pepita. Vacuum back into the wall. Silence is there from ADR, but he may have used this a little bit early. They still have an Astral Imprisonment. Buyback is going to come out from the Oracle. Combo up on the DP. Earth Splitter coming through. Really not going to connect. Moo's going to get stopped by the Fortune Zen. Nice banish by RoboZ. But now Reflection coming out. Meta is going to be popped. Everyone's scattering. Surge, nicely placed by Pepita onto Moose, is going to allow him to extract himself. And they get the kill on Oracle and a buyback out of it. Tomato going to make his way towards the mid lane. And Meta was popped as well for this. So this is a huge window of opportunity for Infamous to fight. Good discipline from them. Tomato, though, he's TP'd out. So I'm not sure exactly what they're looking for here. And the meta is still available for half duration. BKB is popped by the Terrorblade. Nice reaction. Moves on the south side. Going to find the Beastmaster, but no one's able to follow him up just yet. Primal Roar comes out onto the Tiny. RoboZ going to press forward, and he's going to get surged, and he'll find the kill. So that is a BKB used by the Terrorblade. No meta for 100 seconds. And the Beastmaster on the sidelines for 35. Tomato, though, he's in the jungle, not pushing a lane. So there's no immediate objective to take. He does have his full travels now, full Mjolnir as well. Still just a level 1 Necro Book, but no big deal there, as they'll look to push in towards the middle lane. Still, a Sanity's Eclipse available. Hand of God is available. There's no Wall of Replica, but it is up in 5 seconds. So really all the tools necessary for Infamous to make this push. And they will do just that. Tier 2 will be free, but doesn't seem like they can get much else, unless they're very willing to press forward. There is still 1 minute with no Terrorblade Illusion, and Tomato is prepping the bottom lane for them to try and take out that final tier 2. Moose pinging the tower. Tomato getting to work. He'll pop his Necro Books. And the Astral Spirit will do some scouting. Moose is going to kill off a ward in the meantime. And top lane, they do have ADR pushing. They'll send down the replica. Radiant will scan the pit. ADR going to back his way out to safety. Looking for that BKB here. Makes a lot of sense. Up against the Tiny and the OD. You got the Terrorblade to do quite a bit of damage as well. So Terrorblade working on a Scotty. Makes sense. I mean, Butterfly not all that effective against Mjolnir. It is very effective against OD, but he's already got the BKB to somewhat counter the OD. Smoke up from Robo. Jump forward. Combo onto the Terrorblade. He immediately sunders the OD, then that's going to force back the entire Infamous lineup. And the Warning Tornado going to be sent out here. Pepita yules up into the air. Fortune's End will find him on the retreat. And the Primal Roar going to be there as well. But he will dodge the Earth Splitter, and pretty much the Primal Roar with that imprisonment. We talked about this in the draft. Sanity's Eclipse going to take out the Oracle. ADR left for dead. And Infamous find their opening, as Jesus and Amigos are a bit too eager to find themselves a straggler there. And they just don't kill off the Darkseer quickly enough. Heads up play by RoboZ, who we've criticized in the last few games, but is using his toolkit properly in this one. Still, though, there's no real pressure mounted after that kill. Roche is up, and so perhaps that is the objective that Infamous take a peek at here. They do have Magnetic Field, so they're not terrible at taking Roche. Tomato will pop the Tempest double. Infamous, or Moose, excuse me, going to make his way up to the east, stand on the high ground. Astral Spirit will be there. Hawk's not seen. Jump forward, Avalanche, kill off the wave from the Tiny, and that'll secure the Roche. Aegis is on the deck, but although it was a great timing on the Echo Stomp, no one will be able to make a play on it. All heroes surrounding their Terrorblade up on the high ground here. Bottom, they do have good vision of Infamous's side, making this rotation. And they'll send some TB illusions in towards the base. Tomato will have to deal with that. Up to the high ground, it's dangerous. They'll place a ward. Will Moose. And a little bit scared to walk up these stairs, but he will do so. Now surge forward with the OD. Toss up. BKB pop by Leo Sal. He's doing a lot of damage, but they get the imprisonment off. Stomp connects onto 2, though. Earth Splitter will be there as well. It does connect onto Wu. Wu could be in a lot of trouble here. He does not have the Hand of God ready, and he will go down. Magnetic Field out onto Robo. He wasn't right-clicking with the Arcane Orb for whatever reason, and now just begins to do so. I don't think he was silenced there. But in any case, they end up getting 2 kills for 1. Beastmaster and Elder Titan down for the Chen. It's another BKB charge used down to 7 seconds. It's another sort of underutilized metamorphosis here. And Moose hanging around, cutting the wave. As the high ground push begins, they throw the Tempest double up with the magnetic field. Glyph is going to be popped. Everything's available except for the Earth Splitter, which is up in 15 seconds. And it looks like they're trying to push in bottom lane, but Tomato, Aegis in hand, Butterfly completed as well. Going to right-click into this tier 3 and look probably to reset after this. Jump forward, though. Blink. Misses the Ava. Tomato going to get reflected, as does Moose, but they'll be able to extract themselves from any further danger pretty cleanly here in the bottom lane. Beastmaster does have a blink, but not really willing to use it. Tomato going to throw up Tempest double and a Spark Wraith onto the high ground. Beat down the Sentry, uses Midas, and popped a Mjolnir buff. Echo Stomp will connect. You should probably be right-clicking the range racks, I would assume. But it looks like they'll continue. Yeah, he does begin to do that. The easier target to take down, and one more right-click will do the trick. 9 HP. Never deny a racks, they say. I'm denying this thing. Creep comes in. Does not connect just yet. Tempest double will finish the job. Easily. And looks like Infamous are pretty content with this for the time being. They ping out the mid lane and will look to push that in. Bounty runes are up as well on 30 minutes, and they may be able to just get all 4 here. Moose making his way towards the top lane. Surged up. He's got a Shadow Blade as well as the Blink. But they'll TP in Tomato, in fact. Gotta love that change with the Boots of Travel interacting with the TP scroll. Just makes Arc Warden a lot more present across the map. Combo from the Tiny. He'll get into Shadow Blade. Jump up. Primal Roar is going to find the OD. He's the one hero with the save, but he's healed up by Hand of God. Nice vacuum. Earth Splitter does connect, however. OD could be in a little bit of trouble. He'll imprison himself for the moment, and the Darkseer will go down. Finally, we see a good fight for Jesus and Amigos. Big Sanity's Eclipse. He's able to now finish off the Titan. And Moose is Tiny. He's left for dead. False Promise ends, but Terrorblade still survives, and Tomato, completely out of mana here, survives alongside his OD, but it's a 3 for 2 overall in favor of Jesus and Amigos. And a very timely initiation from the Beastmaster in the trees on the right target. Every time we've seen a Primal Roar so far, it has not been on this Outworld Devourer, and this time they do get it done. They don't end up killing off the OD, but they get 3 targets for it. Still, they'll slightly bite into this large lead for the Radiant side. Greaves And the Crimson Guard. Greaves a little bit more recent, but Crimson Guard's been there for a while for Pepita. Moose ends up going down in that last engagement. It will be a Scotty, it seems. Well, Hex first. Oh, Scotty completed by Timato. Moose hanging around under a sentry. Finds a TB. He will get the Sunder off and the BKB. They'll Primal Roar on the Tiny and finish him off with ease. Looks like they may have expected a larger fight there on the Dire side. They did not have meta, perhaps fortunately for them, to pop. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Tomato, it's just a Tempest double, so not going to matter all that much. But look at what this magnetic field does. We talked about this in the draft screen. With ranged cores like this, magnetic field only becomes more and more effective. And it's very difficult for them to get in that magnetic field and deal the damage. That last fight by the Shrine, Tomato was kind of off, I believe, hitting the lane. And so he walked in late, and they were able to isolate them here where magnetic field was not very effective. But still, it just feels like Infamous are very comfortable in this one. They'll have the bottom lane constantly shoving, not as if they had a melee Rax here. They only did get the range, but it's kind of less of a concern from them. And in general, any Arc Warden lineup has the lanes pushing quite often. Still 2 sentries here. Moose hanging around. 3 sentries, in fact. A lot of coverage in this area around the Shrine or the Dire side. And a gem purchase could just be monumental for Infamous with the advantage they have right now. But it doesn't seem like they've done that yet. Chen sitting... Well, I guess the Tiny sitting on the closest to gem gold. 2100 on the OD. He's looking at a BKB here. Interesting. Versus Beastmaster, Terrorblade, and Death Prophet that he's looking at the BKB over something like a Shiva's. I mean, the Primal Roar is really... Oh, he gets the... He already has a Shiva's. Okay. Nice one, Caster. Well, that makes sense. Still, though, the BKB feels a bit underwhelming. You're really blocking an Echo Stomp, and that's it. And maybe a Yule Scepter. So, a bit peculiar to me. I even think something like maybe even Moon Shard could be more effective, or the Lincoln Sphere for the Primal Roar. In any case, BKB is just kind of standard fare for your Outworld Devourers. The Reflection doesn't do all that much against OD either, so it's interesting. But not ever really a bad item. Just think he could find value in other things here. While Terrorblade found out in the river, Tomato forced up to the high ground. BKB and meta popped here, so they just want to disengage. Moose hanging around up on the steps. And it's a big win, despite nothing really happening for the Radiant side, as they force the meta and the BKB. And now Dire side very blind. Under sentries, but smoked. Darkseer going to have his smoke popped. Recall coming in from the Chen. Jump forward. Reflection catches on a few. Silence onto the Chen, and they're going to be able to focus down the Outworld Devourer instantly. Magnetic Field, though. Tomato doing a lot of damage. Yule Scepter by ADR will keep him up. Nice Sunder onto Tomato, and the Earth Splitter finishes him off. They'll get the 2 big targets. They only lose the Oracle. Somehow that fight goes incredibly well for Jesus e Amigos. They're once again able to target down this Terrorblade, and they went on the Chen immediately as well. He still got the Hand of God off, but it seems like the Darkseer was not able to get his Greaves off to save that OD. And if the OD doesn't save someone, there's only the Darkseer and the Chen heals to save the OD. And we've seen 2 fights in a row now taking out that OD very quickly. Has bode well for Jesus e Amigos. They'll get this tier 3 for free. Probably a whole lane of Rax. Tomato's down 40 seconds, no buyback. And they really don't have much counter push. Moose will throw out an Avalanche. That's pretty much the best they have. They can jump forward for a vac wall and hope that the enemies leave. And I think really they should be making that play, considering there's no BKB and no meta. There is a BKB now on the Terrorblade, excuse me. He'll pop it and TP out. Toss? Does that work? Oh. Does that even cancel TP? I feel like it does. Break channeled spells like the town portal scroll. Moose, please! That was a major, major misstep by the Terrorblade. BK being right in front of the Tiny and TPing out, and Moose does not get the toss off. That is unfortunate. However, Infamous do end up getting the Aegis once again. BKB is down to 5 seconds for the Terrorblade. BKB for ADR still at 8. Pretty sizable. Terrorblade Sentry does catch. Oh, well, they will force out the 5-second BKB, but it's only 5 seconds here. Do they want to continue to give chase? They don't have all their units nearby. Tomato gets recalled by the Chen, but again, they're just not close enough. Need to deal with the lanes. And they did lose the melee racks in mid.
Radiant are scanning.
Great ward coverage all game by this Dire side. Like, look at where their sentries are placed. He was hitting the shrine and was able to make it out with his life because of the sentries. There are literally sentries all over the map for the Dire side, and they're definitely winning that battle. And when you're Infamous as ahead as they were and don't pick up a gem, this is what you leave yourself susceptible to. This gem pickup could have effectively ended the game for them, I feel. But they opt not to go for it. Mouse into backdoor protection. Gonna be able to dodge the Echo Stomp. Tempest Double now walks in with the creep. Will force out the Glyph. Oracle not in fighting shape just yet. 10 seconds until there's a teleport, and they'll get this range rack potentially for free. Jump forward, reflection, right clicks onto Tomato. They will be able to kill off the Tempest Double. He's very close to getting it done, but unable to do so. Looks like they maybe wanted to go in with Moose there, but he thinks better of it. As mid lane, range rack's going to be taken out here. Yep. And Infamous kind of being outmaneuvered in the last few minutes in this one. They do have the Aegis, but there's really nothing they can do with it. They TP now jump forward. Meta and BKB going to be popped. They're going to focus on the OD again, but this time the Greaves are there and the Hand of God. He's able to pop the cheese. Can he get any work done in this fight? Leo is very low, but he's not dropping just yet on this Terrorblade. Still alive, and now finally False Promise will expire. TB will go down. He has buyback, not used it yet. Toss forward onto the other Titan. Tree toss, not enough. As the Titan makes it away. Meanwhile, Tomato on the low side kills off ADR. There's no buyback for this DP, and finally Infamous has found the opening they needed. Stomp will connect onto Tomato and his Tempest Double. And they get the right idea once again, but this time the kicker was that cheese available for Robo-Z, and immediately towards the tier 4s they go. The Terrorblade gets the buyback out, but does not have meta. He'll blink forward, get a nice reflection off, but just have to turn tail and run. 10 seconds, no BKB. They'll start right-clicking into the TB. Nice vacuum back. They'll bring him low. He gets a Sunder off. Sanity's Eclipse is there, though, and they'll bring him down. Purge is not enough to keep him alive. Toss away. Kill off the Oracle, and Moo's gonna body up Jesus a Amigos. And to Jesus, the one to cast the first stone, was the Stone Man himself. Moo's without sin gonna bring them down in this game one. Infamous Tomato, their journey continues here for at least 2 more games. Winner of this series, guys, still has a couple to go if they want to make it into the lower bracket final. Will revive for that second spot in the South American qualifiers. For now, they'll go up to 1-0 in a nail biter, where they had the lead for a long time. Took them a little while to close it out. But Tomato AFK farming all game ends with 30k net worth. And Moose, start to finish, 26 kills, 20 kill involvement for that Tiny. Did a fantastic job with that Boots first build early on. Gets him the first blood and continued to roll for there. It's got to be the MVP of this game. Infamous up 1-0, guys. We'll be back shortly with game 2.